Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode, 5 of Gracefall Base Camp. Last time, the crew rounded up the remaining werewolves, former werewolves, and headed back to their new base camp, where they voted on... where the entire crew, the big crew, like all 50 people, voted on what to focus on and prioritize. We were introduced to a couple new NPCs, including Nick the pilot, Commander Kayla Crawford, Cora, who is her, like, sort of scribe.
The airbender.
The airbender, or, yeah. It's spelled with a C. It's intellectually distinct.
Okay, good.
That's kind of distinct.
Yeah. And then...
I got the type of bending wrong. I'm going to get dragged on Twitter.
If anybody watched us, you would be, but...
Ooh.
Rough.
Ouch. But fair.
Okay.
Apologies in advance to our one YouTube viewer. We love you.
Exactly.
Don't drag us on Twitter.
Thank you, Keith. I'm trying to update. Oh, he's not on Twitter. So perfect.
Well, that bullet's dodged.
Yeah.
You.
I'm trying to update the D&D Beyond campaign document so I don't forget people anymore. They're not on losable note cards. Okay. So, we'll pick up the next morning. Everyone get a full night rest. I don't know if anyone had taken damage. The last thing we fought was the Jersey Devil. And that was 2 episodes ago. Okay. So, as you all wake up various points in the morning, I think this is always a good question to ask people. Who is an early riser and who's going to sleep as late as possible?
Early riser.
Early riser?
I feel like it doesn't apply to the Warforged as much.
We technically don't sleep.
Yeah, but do you go, like, right to work, or are you kind of dilly-dallying?
Oh, Claire is absolutely dilly-dallying.
That sounds right.
Right to work.
That
Oh
also
yeah,
sounds
another
right.
early riser, for sure.
Okay.
There
Claire,
wasn't
it
constantly
doesn't-
stuff to be done.
Claire doesn't really seem to have a very good grasp on what exactly it is she's supposed to be doing here. No one has really laid it out for her.
I don't think anybody's told her. I'm
She's just
unclear
kind of
as to
here.
what you're doing here, but I get it. Like,
Clangley will try his best to kind of, if there's any sort of task that requires sort of magical expertise, try to help, direct her to those and try and, ingratiate her with the other Warforged.
If she does find something that requires magical expertise, it's like a switch just flips, and it is like an info dump of all like weird niche magical things that wouldn't necessarily apply to the situation, but you get like a morsel or two of useful information.
Yeah, well, when that happens, Clangley's just like, and then goes to do his jobs.
okay. So as most of you are early risers, you can smell coffee filling the air, fires, food being cooked or kind of unhydrated or rehydrated rather, but proper food that had been stored being cooked. Everything's boiled. Sorry, people who eat, but you're not getting real food yet. And it's a lot of kind of staples that keep well. So it's very preserved meats, and then vegetables.
Salt.
Lots of salt. But there's coffee. And it's absolute garbage. Um, uh, it's
Hot,
because
brown, it gets the job done.
but coffee beans on the moon have been like just breeded to shit, or like cross mingled to be so bland, and there's no good soil left for them. It's just not good.
Yeah, that's why we came down here to find a better place to grow coffee.
It's one of them. Okay. You can see Matilda, Maddie, your werewolf quartermaster, is amongst the other quartermasters, one of whom you've met, and his name is Dick Stanton. That's right.
Okay, but the other name we discussed off camera, that was too much, but Dick Stan is fine.
Dick Stanton. I think Dick Stanton is actually a real name I saw somewhere.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's stuck out in
I
my
have
head.
no doubt that it was, but
Dick Stanton.
still.
S-C-A-T-A-N.
I just heard Dick Stan.
Dick Stanton. He's Richard Ridiculous. I used that joke in Star Chasers. Okay. You can see the quartermasters are unpacking supplies, and there's the stuff they've started to lay out, other than kind of the equipment they're starting to build, are crates and crates of little crystals, which you all would recognize as shards or tricks. Shards are basically crystals that house level 1 and up spells, and tricks are crystals that hold cantrips. Tricks are reusable. Shards have limited uses. So if you need...
I presume that this, in part, is somehow, it has something to do with the way that Warforged are powered. Is that the case, or is that some different...
No, for sure. Yeah, you definitely have magical crystals as kind of a power source battery thing. For sure. So it is definitely a
Confirming
similar
how I
process.
bullshitted the ship's magical generator worked in my head, which I should really draw that design out somehow.
That would be pretty cool.
Someone get me some blueprinting software.
I can give you some graph paper.
The old ways.
I have considered that, but I haven't tried drawing anything in like 2 years, so.
Okay. So if anyone needs any tricks or shards, you can requisition them here. Once you get more residuum, you can create more of these more powerful ones. Request specific ones. There are no potions here, but there are potion equivalent crystals. Potions have gone out of favor. That's going on there. Around the camp, the well is being dug. Various Warforged are starting to go into the woods to lumberjack. As I said, stuff's being unloaded. A couple people have gone out to the crash sites of the two ships to bring in more supplies and reinforce the crash site of your ship to build a kind of enclave base there. Some structures are more permanent structures are being assembled in addition to the tents.
Remember, try to keep the buildings close together. It's #1 lesson of urban planning. Everything must be walkable.
A couple people kind of nod and respond, and various work kind of songs are being hummed and sung as the camp comes to life. So,
My antenna, unfortunately, does not get any radio from this location.
Yet we're working on it.
Really? We can get radio audio? Okay.
Well, you'll have to build someone will have to be a DJ. The Warforged DJ is ready.
Who I assume is called Scratch or something.
I was just thinking their name is DJ, but
Oh,
Just jockey.
yeah, jockeys. Yeah, I guess we wouldn't really have discs. They're crystals, so CJ.
DJ
or
is actually a very
jockey.
good name.
Okay.
There's two of them, and they have the like blank faces of Daft Punk.
I like it.
Amazing.
Okay, that's canon. They're coming on a later ship.
Yeah.
Okay. So, let's do this in reverse overlay order. Issabel, what are you doing this morning?
I imagine is a lot of Issabel's specific tooling was on the ship with her, so a lot of her like more powder making and gunsmithing equipment. She's probably helping unload that and bringing that to the main camp.
Okay. Perfect. Claire.
Claire was in the middle of info dumping about how the decomposition of living things intersects with the life cycles of certain fungi when they started bringing out the shards and the tricks, and she just made a beeline for it.
Okay, perfect.
And is like looking through the various ones that they have.
Okay, yeah. Is there any one in particular you'd look for, or you just flipping through?
She is always in like the mind of necromantic spells, but I'd assume that there's not a whole lot of use for those there. So,
Yeah, no.
yeah, she's just looking to see what was brought.
Okay.
The extent of magical power that is available to the people here.
Oh, come on. Where?
How big are these crystals? Could you try eating some of them like cereal? I would advise against it, but can you try?
No. Well, you have to break them to use them. Some of them, usually. So, like, yeah, they're like classic, shredded wheat size, like the big brick of shredded wheat. So, I mean,
They're non-renewable, I assume.
Non-renewable, no. Or, well,
Okay,
yeah, they have, each one has limited uses, but yeah, it's.
Do the Warforged need to replace them every now and then?
Okay, so people don't. Yeah, so Warforged can replace them, and people don't know. Kind of we haven't really established like what the kind of the average lifespan of Warforged is, and I kind of think that it's because the upper limits of it haven't been established yet. They're like 40 years old. So people assume, well, probably like 100 maybe. They're probably like elves or something. So Warforged crystals, yeah, so you can re-empower crystals. They kind of get... It's like phone batteries. Like they hold less and less charge over time.
Hence why they have the sentry mode. I see.
Yes, yeah. So you recharge, and every day you lose like 0.5% or whatever like that. Over your lifetime, you're not going to notice it, but older model Warforged do sometimes slow down a little bit.
So I imagine Clangley's probably, because Clangley's quite old for a Warforged. I imagine he's probably on like his second or third.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So, but like, so yeah. So some of the shards or the tricks that are there, it's a lot of like the very utility cantrips. So like Druid craft, prestidigitation, mage hand, dancing lights, light, guidance. That's most of them. Minor illusion. Message is a popular one. And then most of the shards are like healing spells. It's a lot of healing spells, a lot of like rangery, like locate spells, find traps, detect poison. It's kind of like it's very utility stuff right
Mm.
now. They can make like fireball and stuff like that. It's just none of these are them.
She is particularly interested in some of the healing spells, just for like the idea of like these things imbue life and vitality, and there's a certain antithetical element to that in necromancy. So, or maybe even parallel elements. So she is interested in them.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, Matilda comes over and she's like, yeah, if you need to requisition anything, yeah, just let me know.
Can I take like maybe like 2 of these, like just right now, or is there like a form? Okay.
No,
Okay.
I track I do all the paperwork. That's my job.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. I'm not very good at writing.
Kind of looks at you like, aren't you a wizard?
She like holds up her hands, which move like very like. There's like half a second of like delay.
She kind of nods. Just. Yeah, just kind of nods like, okay, you're weird.
And actually, if you look on her arms, you see that there are some like all of her spells are like scratched into her arms and like script, and some of them is like very neat, tight, slow handwriting, and then some of them is like chicken scratch, and those are the newer ones. It looks like she did those herself. So yeah, so she'll take a couple of healing spells, probably like I don't know what the healing spells are. Maybe like I almost said lay on hands. Get 2 into the paladin. That character's gone.
Well, I always said minor cure wounds, which has not been a spell in 3 editions. So
spare the die in this one.
Yeah. Yeah, there's healing word and cure wounds. So healing word is a bonus action, but it heals less, and it's a range. Cure wounds is a full action, heals more, but you have to touch them.
All right, cool. I'll take 1 of each.
Okay, perfect.
D8 per spell level plus relevant modifier. Healing word is 1. Cure wounds is 2.
Damn.
It is touch. Okay, good.
Almost like I did just come off of playing a cleric who used those a lot.
Okay.
I was more on healing enemies than healing friends, but
It was also a very important thing that needed to happen.
There are many kinds of cleric.
Well, the enemies can't hurt you as much if they aren't around anymore.
Go into Shemeshka.
So, and if anything asks for like a relevant spell modifier, it's always 3. So, but we'll go over that later. When we need to use them. Okay, and that might change. I might change that. Okay. So as Claire is looking over the crystals, Wynne, what are you doing?
I guess Wynne would be taking more like samples, helping out with the help direct like the people going out looking for lumber, like making a catalog of all the trees she sees.
Okay. How far away from camp are you going?
I don't think too far. Like, she's not really a lumberjack. She's not. Well, she is pretty strong, but she's not gonna get too far away from camp.
Okay.
I think, but it's more like she gets stopped every few feet because she found something neat on the ground.
Okay.
And what is Spicy doing?
Spicy as being a very good assistant and nodding enthusiastically whenever Wynne finds something new.
Excellent. Okay. And Clangley.
I imagine Clangley is looking over some blueprints for some kind of town hall structure, some more permanent structure, and probably occasionally getting his hands dirty as well, but mostly managing it. Like he is quite good at things. He is efficient and all that stuff, but basically what he's doing is he's helping on time and occasionally, step. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, yeah, I'm
I
here.
can hear you.
Yeah.
You got all that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I don't know what happened. My Discord was going all weird.
Yeah, you got a little laggy for my end, but I got enough of it to know what you were saying.
Yeah, we got like
so.
95% of it. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so as the day progresses, can I get... Can I get survival or perception checks?
Oh boy.
Thank you for the
Well,
multiple choice.
I'm not going to use this because it wouldn't be fair, but I did randomly roll a perception check by accident, and it was a natural 20.
I actually did roll a natural 20.
Excellent.
The multiple choice doesn't make any difference. I have +0 to either of these, and I rolled a 10.
Okay, 10.
I did worse.
D&D
I
Beyond.
rolled a 3, so that's a 7 on survival.
Well, you turned a 3 into a 7. That's something.
That's something.
You got distracted by mushroom.
You're too busy making a different survival check to make this survival check.
Yeah. Okay, so Claire got a 20.
I got a 21.
21.
Got a +1 to either.
Issabel got a 10.
Smart.
And Clangley, what did you get?
I got a 50.
15? Okay. Okay. So, over in the engineer tent, you say you're busy and distracted. The engineers, as established off-stream, but I will read them for the benefit of the stream, are Spark and Echo are the Warforged. Bits is the Goblin. Tavier is the Eladrin. Jensen Tallstep is the Halfling. Vondra Evenbreath is a dwarf, and Fred Silvermaul is the final dwarf. So, as established, there's lots of coffee, both dwarfed up and non-alcoholic. Explosions, kind of blueprints all over the place. Talking about how they can, well, now, there's the new challenge of stabilizing the ship, the drop ship that this crew came in on in the tree and building out from it. Like, how do they do that? And so it's a lot of no, and yes, of course it'll work, and arguments happening. As established, Wynne is simply distracted by something else, by a mushroom or a fungus that's interesting. A fungus that's growing, like, visibly as you're kind of watching it. You're like, oh, that tree, and it's just kind of overtaking it.
Oh.
That's concerning.
We'll come back to that later. But Claire and Clangley,
Will we?
with a 15 plus, you both notice as you're doing some tasks. You both notice that on the from the close to the water that you all have camped near. There's a river running by. From that side, you can see something moving from out of the water up onto the land, and it looks like a boulder from this distance. Although with Claire's 20, you can tell it's more like a shell.
How big is it?
Very large, like alarmingly big, like the size of a cart.
It's pretty huge.
Yeah.
I'm assuming Claire's not far from where I am right now.
Yeah, she's not far.
Clangley will, a little monocle will pop out, and we'll kind of try to zoom in on it, but it's probably too far away regardless. He is going to, tell his compatriots that he's going on break. And he is going to go tap Claire on the shoulder and say, "Was that there before?"
No.
That is quite alarming. Did that rock just move?
It moved, and it moved out of the water.
Should we go investigate?
You can.
Okay, maybe I will.
Fine. Claire will, like, pedal behind Clangley, like, very, just like,
We don't have to, attack it or anything. I just want to know what it is in case it poses a threat to the camp.
It is big and it looks like a rock. And I am made of porcelain.
Okay, and I'm made of metal, so just stand behind me.
Traditionally, rocks and porcelain do not a good combination make.
Again, metal. Just stand behind me. And, worst comes to worst, we can repair whatever damages you may sustain. I understand that's probably not as reassuring now that I've said it out loud as I thought it initially was.
No, it isn't.
Okay. Anyways, so as we get closer, do we get a better idea of what this thing is?
As you get closer, it stops moving, and it kind of clunks onto the ground, and yeah, it's just, as you're closer, you can see it looks like a big shell.
Like a snail shell?
Yeah. Or like a hermit crab shell.
Do you think Wynne will be able to talk to this thing? Maybe we should go get Wynne.
Perhaps. I think it would also be a good idea to make sure that everyone stays away from this area for the time being.
At least it doesn't seem like it wants to kill us. Not like that flying bat thing.
Yes, and quite frankly, I don't think it could catch us if it wanted to. Seems rather sluggish.
I'm not very fast at running, but that is reassuring.
All right, Clangley will make a little sketch of it, and then he will walk back to camp.
Okay.
Claire is going to go try to find Wynne.
Okay. Perfect. So yeah, not far away. You can. Clangley is still within eye shot and earshot, sketching. Put a couple cones out to warn people away. You find Wynne looking at a tree just being engulfed in moss.
Whoa.
I know, right?
That's fascinating. Wait. Sorry, wait. She'll kind of like tug on her sleeve and be like, big rock shell thing moving. It was moving.
Oh. There's something cooler than this moss? I gotta see this.
I suppose to you it could be cool. Yeah, over here. Yeah, out of the water river thing. Yep. Big. Okay. She'll just like start hurrying towards the big rock thing.
Clangley's muttering to himself, "What secrets do you hold, massive shell? What dwells within?"
Okay. So as you bring Wynne back, at this point, Issabel, you certainly notice your three compatriots have gathered not far from the engineering tent. If you would care to join them, otherwise, there's a perfectly good puzzle to be had here, working on the various things you have to focus on.
I mean, she's probably trying to get her machining set up, but she probably is also now, like, leaning out of the tent watching.
I mean, yeah, it's like three people staring at something, and that's always alarming. Like, it's just, what are they looking at?
Let's stay back here and just kind of keep an eye on it. I can help from here if I really have to.
Okay, so Wynne returns with Claire. It's a shot of the three of them standing there and kind of zooms out slightly and kind of rack focuses in the background to see there's a little goblin head sticking around a corner. But the three focused up on this thing. What do you want to do?
I guess Wynne would go into her speak with small beasts like she did with the Queen Zap Zaps and just start doing the Rolodex of hellos and different animals sounds.
Okay. So, something similar to what Queen Zap Zaps spoke, but a little more guttural and kind of deep, more closer on the bear end. It kind of roars back at you and says, yeah, I was sleeping in the river, and this is all kinds of loud.
Oh, are we too loud?
Yeah, like way too loud.
Oh, jeez. Sorry, mister. Or buddy.
A big, wet-looking brown nose covered in fur kind of sticks its head out of the shell and kind of smells the ground. And says, I don't think I like this. What do you want? Who are you?
We're from the moon.
What's a moon?
The big thing in the sky at night.
Oh, the big shell.
Yeah, that one.
Okay. So do you have, like, fish?
Not right now. We're
Uh,
just getting settled in.
It kind of gets up and turns around, and it's, like I said, it's kind of hermit crab shell, but the front half of it is a bear with 6 legs, and it kind of starts pulling itself towards you, kind of looking. Smelling again. So,
Calculating distances.
So are you gonna like stop all the noise, or kind of smells again? Kind of looks at Wynne. Kind of, you smell like fish. Kind of.
I mean, I have. What's your definition of fish?
You think he doesn't actually like like that time he used a slightly different word. You think he just means meat now.
Oh, okay.
Kind of looks, yeah, because he then looks at Clangley and Claire, and like not fish. I smash fish against you, and then you're dead. He thinks you're rocks.
So the Queen's apps. What exactly is this creature trying to communicate to us?
It's our neighbor. They have a noise complaint.
Construction. It is the middle of the day.
You take it up with the HOA.
Is this your third complaint? I'm just saying. So, kind of scuttles. Yeah, it's scuttling back and forth in a hermit crabby way, but it's a bear. But it is clearly getting closer to you.
In a more threatening way, or just in a...
You would find its posture threatening. It's a bear.
I guess, Wynne will just sort of, like, puff out a little bit and just try to make herself look a little bit bigger and be like, listen, we're just gonna start living here now. I'm sorry about the noise, but, yeah, it's gonna be a little loud for a little longer, so you might want to just scoot along. Or if you want to help us out, maybe reduce the noise. We could use some help, and you can get some meat, fish in return.
What help do you need?
Oh, moving logs from here to there. That kind of thing.
How much fish?
A bunch.
How big was that bat thing we killed?
We didn't kill it. It ran away.
It ran away. It also wasn't very big.
Okay.
It kind of... It looks like it's trying to do math. A bunch. A bunch sounds like a lot.
Witnessing a master negotiator at work, Claire.
Yeah, give me an animal handling check.
Issabel has at this point leaned back and gone, Fred, Fondra, fetch the cannon.
Yep.
In case.
Yeah, that's a 7, so probably a good idea.
Okay. The hermit bear says, fish now, work later.
How about some work now, then fish, then more work?
It stops. It stops scuttling and puts its nose back to the ground and kind of starts smelling a lot. Kind of looks at you again and says, I think you only have the uncooked meats, the uncooked fish. I think you promise nothing. Vondra and Fred roll a cannon. Fred kind of slaps the top of it. This bad boy.
Gonna wait with a loaded cannon.
I think we should just walk away.
Claire's already like 10 feet behind everyone.
No, goodbye. Why are we talking to this bear again? Clearly not Queen's Apps.
It worked the last time.
It did
These
work.
outcasts are quite friendly.
The hermit bear, kind of smelling the ground again, looking at everyone, just starts to scuttle backwards. Like, this clearly isn't worth it. But it kind of roars, startling a couple people who maybe hadn't noticed what was going on. It roars back at you, Wynne, like, I'll leave, but I'm not happy about it, basically. But he's greatly outnumbered, so it goes into the water.
Interesting wildlife here, isn't it?
There are bad things, and now I have to be worried about hermit crab bears. This is the worst. Why did I ever go outside?
Going outside was your first mistake.
That's what the adventure is.
Red, thank you for fetching the cannon.
Yep. It's a real shame we didn't get to use it.
There's always next time.
You always say there's always next time.
Clangley will...
Because there's always next time. Not everything on this planet's going to want to leave peacefully.
Promises.
Clangley is going to give the sketch that he made to Wynne if she needs it for her book.
Wynne will gladly put it in her book. Along with some notes, like...
Hungry.
Is there...
Well-designed creature, 10 out of 10.
It's by a god who makes sense.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. So, you negotiated with the hermit bear. Okay. So things progress onward and continue. At the end of the day, there is a bit of a commotion. And some of the Warforged come rushing back in, and they look spooked. They look startled.
All right, what happened?
One of them, let's see.
No spontaneous combustulitis, I hope.
They kind of look at you for a second and say, describe that.
Okay, so it affects older models. Sometimes we would just explode.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Look, there is a treatment. I can fix that, but it does occasionally happen. Don't be shy about it. Well, I'm not going to say it's perfectly natural, but, like, it happens.
You used to have a much higher magnesium count in a lot of your parts.
Mm-hmm.
No, Styx goes... it's Styx and Titan are the two who kind of came rushing back and are talking to you right now.
I like to imagine Styx is the really tall, beefy one, and Titan is like the kind of slender one.
Yeah, you want to make something of it?
No, I find it perfectly normal.
I wouldn't fuck with Titan. But no, yeah, you 100%. Styx is big.
Pops out.
Titan's always got a switchblade. You say something, pal? Styx and Titan said we were trying to, or Styx says we were trying to cut down trees, like you said, when one of the non-Warforged, all of their skin melted off. And then they're just a pile of bones.
Okay.
Wow. Who was it?
NPC I didn't name because I was planning on immediately killing him.
They're dead. Why are you asking dead people's... No, of course you're asking dead people NPC names. Hold on.
Johnny Redshirt.
Yeah, yes. What was it? A Connie Redshirt?
It was Mr. MacGuffin.
I said Johnny Redshirt.
Johnny Redshirt. let's do Akani because it's a little more fantasy. Akani Redshirt.
Exactly. Oh, no, not the Connie Redshirt. He was the least expendable out of all of us.
So essential.
Oy.
He had a
I feel
well-established
bad for laughing now.
backstory.
You joke, but he had a well planned out arc in episode 57.
Exactly.
Never gonna get that back now.
Exactly. That was going to be the episode where Clangley's finally gets a different hat.
That's a splintered timeline now.
Exactly.
Okay.
Finally modernized from a stovepipe to a bowler.
Mm-hmm. Much more energy efficient.
We were canceled by Fox by then, so
Mm-hmm.
Who wasn't?
yeah. IMDb TV will pick us up.
You're asking who wasn't canceled by Fox? Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
They're on like season 9 now,
That's
which
like
I'm not complaining.
surprising.
But like,
Yeah.
Hey,
it's a lot.
It's getting a movie too, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm honestly surprised, like, because usually shows that are that good don't make it to season 9 or whatever. So.
Especially on Fox.
that's a show. It's good. 2 seasons.
Anyways,
2 seasons and a fan campaign. Okay.
And that's us being generous.
Fine, you've made enough noise. You'll get a movie.
But we're not happy about it. Okay. So yeah, so Styx and Titan say that Akani Redshirt was all the flesh melted from their bones, and now they're just a skeleton. And indeed, 2 more Warforged are just pulling a skeleton.
yay.
Surprisingly, Claire is like jumped into action because like so many things have just been way too alive around us right now. Like first the bat thing and the bear and Queen Zap Zaps. Now something's dead. This is where she comes in.
Right, we have an expert on our hands. Can you tell what happened to this body?
Can I tell what happened to it? Yeah, she's immediately like rushes toward the skeleton, starts picking at the bones, looking apart, trying to figure out what happened.
Yeah. Give me a medicine check.
Awesome. Yeah, I am proficient in that.
And I use some help action for this, or
Sure.
I rolled a 9.
Roll with advantage because Clangley is
Oh, please. Thank
holding
you.
the skeleton for you.
Oh, much better. 22.
Yeah, Marty is giving some excellent reasons in chat. It lost its skin. It suffered from too much oxygen to its insides. Your insides shouldn't be exposed to that much oxygen. Okay. No. So as you are examining it, as you get close, you see that the bones have that iridescent shimmer from the Danger Glade in like episode 2.
I thought
Yeah.
that's why you wanted us to touch it.
Nobody said anybody should touch it, but this guy did.
let's go to the Danger Glade.
Okay,
Not
so
go to
first
Danger Glade.
Claire is going to take a sample of some of that substance, put it in one of the many vials that she has stored. And then she's going to turn to the 2 Warforged and be like, did you 2 go to the iridescent Danger Glade?
They kind of look at each other and they say, "We went to the glade to chop down trees."
We have been calling it the iridescent Danger Glade for a reason.
Well, we weren't let in on that.
We need to make a company memo not to go in the iridescent Danger Glade. She's also going to hold up the bone, like an arm bone, to Clangley and show him that there is iridescent danger glade residue on this bone, and she's.
It's so the weird thing is just like the stuff from the glade itself. It's not even that it's like a substance coating it. It's like the bones are now made of that stuff.
Ah. Okay, cool.
So it doesn't affect Warforged, which is a good sign.
Well, we don't know that. You don't know that, and that's why Claire's wanting to show Clangley. Like, we probably need to open these guys up and see what happened.
Oh dear. Yes, probably. Yes, you'd better come with me quickly.
What? They both kind of panicked, put down their gear, and follow Clangley.
There, you may as well also come to this. Actually, all of you should probably attend. I think this may also need to be a company-wide memo.
Bring the bones.
That sounds like the opposite of a quarantine if this jumps from organic matter to organic matter.
Well, I mean, I have a relatively sterile area.
Right, but are you inviting a bunch of people to come over to be...
Okay, I'm starting to understand. Okay. So, Clangley will, carefully... I don't know if there's, a tarp we can wrap in or something.
Sure, yeah. There are a bunch of tarps that were used in the shipping and stuff like
something
that. So
synthetic, hopefully.
You got tarps.
Made of a synthetic material or organic one?
Synthetic.
Okay, good. All right, so we are going to take all this stuff back to Clangley's. Make sure Clangley's lab is, first of all, cleared out, his little doctoring outpost, which I imagine really is, at this point, probably just a shack with a few tools in it.
Yeah.
And he is going to ask the Warforged to lay down on the operating table.
Okay.
And he's going to closely examine them to see if there is any sort of, residue or any sort of, if their components have been at all altered by the iridescent danger glade.
Which, as established, is the name of a rad folk band. Okay, so while you were doing, can I get? Are you proficient in Arcana?
I am indeed proficient in Arcana. Yes.
I get an Arcana check, please? That's what we'll use for.
No.
Can I assist because I am also proficient in Arcana?
Yes, you can.
Yay. Significantly better. That's a dirty 20.
Okay.
We help each other.
Okay. We'll get back to you in a second. Wynne and Issabel, what are you doing during this time?
Watching the ground where there's a skeleton to see if the ground starts turning iridescent around it.
Okay. Perfect.
Claire actually brought the skeleton with her when they went to go check on the Warforged.
Okay. But
yeah,
are you still watching it there, Issabel?
Watching the ground where the skeleton was to see if it turned iridescent.
Okay, perfect.
Oh.
And Wynne.
Wynne is probably also watching the ground.
Okay.
But in a much more excited way than maybe Issabel is.
This is exciting. Okay. As you two are standing there watching it, Kayla Crawford, who is the kind of the commander of this mission, the chief excursion officer, as they made a little joke when she left and it kind of stuck. She comes up and she says, "What is the problem?"
Well, did we reported about the danger glade, right, Wynne?
I thought we did. We made a map of it. We told people not to go there.
Someone wandered into the iridescent danger glade.
Okay.
All of their flesh melted off.
Okay.
And they were lying here on the ground, and now we're waiting to see if the ground changes color.
If it does, let me know, but don't tell. Oh,
Yep, there it
there's
is.
one. Well, that was later than usual.
Ah, that's pretty far.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Hello.
We
Okay.
made it a whole hour.
I know. We were just
I
saying
noticed
it lasted a lot longer than normal. Okay. Maybe that means we'll only get one this time. Knock on fake
Don't
wood.
We're gonna
jinx
find
it.
out.
I knocked on wood. I knocked on some sort of wood carbonate pressed synthetic product.
This is reconstituted wood,
Yes.
I think.
Pressed wood is still wood.
Mm-hmm.
I have a dice box.
Substitute. There we go. Invoke the good spirits. Okay. Oh, Kayla Crawford says, good. Keep an eye on it. Don't say anything yet. We'll figure this out.
Two of the Warforged that were with the Miss Breadshirt, they're with Clangley in a medical tent to see if they're affected as well.
Yep. Another letter to send home. Okay, I'll check on them in a minute. Kind of wanders away, like 30 steps or so away, says something to Cora, and then heads in the direction of the tent. Okay. A dirty 20. So looking at these Warforged, they say, like, we're fine, Doc. We feel great even. Like, we were there for a while, and then Red Shirt came over, and she said, "What's up?" And we were like, "Oh, nothing. We're working in this area, kind of we were plotting out some trees that could be cut down, marking them. We feel great." She was there for 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden, that's why we asked about the combustible thingy, because she kind of just popped, and then she was only bones.
Popped is not a great verb.
So what do I find out with the dirty 20?
Yeah, I prefer you use any other word, actually, than popped. So yeah, as we were kind of talking about earlier, their batteries are like brand new now. And they're not new Warforged, but they're like supercharged batteries.
Now, the material, which is called, I forget the name again. Residuum?
Residuum, yeah.
Oh, I think I know where residuum comes from. I could be wrong, but is this... Can I examine the skeleton? Is this skeleton now made of residuum?
Yeah, so with that 20 Arcana check, looking at it, yes and no. It clearly resembles residuum. Like if you kind of break off a piece of it, looking at it, like, kind of magnifying it in some capacity, running a little bit of magic through it, it's reacting as if residuum was, but it's still like it's made of bone. So it doesn't have the same like material composition, but it's reacting in similar ways to residuum.
Is perhaps the greatest discovery of our generation. It's unfortunate that led to the death of this individual, but it's quite possible that we have discovered a way to create perhaps not residuum, but something analogous to it.
What does that mean for us? Are we cool?
They seem cool aside from that.
They really do. And none of them is glowing in any odd ways. They're only glowing in the right spots, which is their heart area.
Okay. Your power sources look as though they're brand new. How long were you in that glade for?
They say they were there for probably 2 hours.
This is fascinating. Truly fascinating. I think it's best that we section off the area for now and run a few more tests with any Warforged volunteers, but it appears as though the effects on synthetic individuals are positive, if anything. You should be perfectly fine. Perhaps even better than before. This is remarkable.
We should probably quarantine them for at least a few more hours to see the long-term effects.
Yes. If you could monitor the batteries. Actually, I will monitor the batteries. I think it's best that you inform the chief exactly what's going on. I'm going to run a few more tests and make a few more notes in the meantime. Thank you very much for your help, Lady Claire.
She doesn't want to leave the bones, but also she was given an order, or essentially what was an order. She's just kind of like, don't touch my bones, and then she'll like run out.
Don't touch your bones. Yeah, no touching the bones.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. Watching the bones, Wynne and Issa, yeah, it does not appear as if the danger glow is spreading. But the bones themselves also don't change. It's not like the glow goes away from them. It just doesn't spread to the tarp or the ground. Even where it touched, various other things, it touched Clangley's instruments. Yet nothing. It's touched grass or a leaf that kind of blows through it, and it doesn't spread like that, it seems.
That's a bit of a relief.
Hmm. So, I think Gwen's gonna take... Like, the bones are they just, like, in a big pile, or are they, like, respectively, like, put out, or something like that?
Claire has the bones. She took them with her to Clangley.
Right, but Wynne and Issa are near... I thought you followed and were just, like, watching. Now?
Oh. Or are they... I thought Issa and Wynne were watching where the bones were.
Oh.
The where was dropped.
Yeah, I thought we were watching where the ground...
Okay.
Okay.
Well, you would know where the bones are, so you can go to them if you'd like. And as for how are they laid out, Claire, how'd you lay them out?
So she was in the process of laying them out like as a human skeleton in a way that like she's just a little too skilled at. Like she got halfway through it, despite the fact that there were all of the bones. So yeah, some of them are in a pile, but half of them are laid out as if like still as a human skeleton.
Like a jigsaw puzzle. She is truly remarkable.
Yeah, I think Wynn's gonna go...
Tiny little hand bones are in the correct position.
I think she even managed to get some of the ear bones, which I did not think was possible.
She did.
Yeah, I think Wynne will like go to the bones and like take a dagger and just like sort of take out a tiny little toe bone and just like scoot it off to the side.
Okay.
And then she's gonna cast produce flame in her hand and just like sort of like goop it onto the bone or just like plop it onto the bone.
Okay. So what does your produce flame cantrip look like?
It's just like this little tiny flame that like pops up in her hand. It apparently casts 10 feet of light.
Okay.
It's like a little ice cream scoop in her hand, and she just
Okay, perfect.
Pops
and,
it.
Like color-wise, is it just like kind of traditional fire colors?
I would say it'd be traditional fire
yeah,
colors.
Yeah, because that makes sense. That's what spicy is. Okay, yeah. So this red and orange flame emitting kind of jumps up, emitting this 10-foot radius of light, and you cup it onto the toe bone. When you do, the fire kind of flares blue and expands very quickly before kind of collapsing in on itself because it's just a cantrip.
Ooh, a result.
Yeah, as Clangley is like looking at these Warforged batteries more closely to see if it's like wearing off this effect, he's gonna like over his shoulder be like, "Yes, be careful with those bones, please."
When she's
Like-
taking notes in her little notebook.
Cast Identify. See if I can pick up any sort of magical effects off of them.
Quite smart.
Other than don't touch it with my fleshy hand. Metal hand, fine. Fleshy hand, not so much.
Let's see. Oh, weird.
Yeah, you tell me.
No, it's just I don't. Huh. I guess I've never read what Identify actually does before. I've always widely interpreted it as this. I just thought I was being weird about it, but no, it tells you what spells are on things and stuff. I always thought it was just for magic items. Okay. Okay.
The spell description is it reads you the Dungeon Master's Guide description of a magic item.
Yeah. Okay, so you learn some basic magical properties about this thing. It's definitely full of like magic. So basically it can hold a magical charge and act as a battery, and it amplifies spells cast at it.
Huh.
So it in many ways acts as both like the Warforged batteries that you've kind of come to understand how they work a bit. It works the same ship as space the dropship batteries that you've worked on in the past. But also this other bit that is not a magical thing that you're necessarily familiar with in the way you understand the batteries or the crystals work, the amplifying part.
Has implications that I'm entirely not comfortable with, but it is useful to know. How to stop your already evil boss from trying to turn people into magical batteries.
What's up? Why would he do that?
This is a Matrix plot.
Just so they work better? That doesn't sound right.
Okay. So, while she's taking notes, Wynne will also write a memo. Don't touch this glade or anything that looks like it.
Okay. At this point, a bunch of kind of onlookers are now kind of... They've heard a bunch of rumors.
Has Claire managed to find who she needs to tell about this situation?
Oh, yeah. Or are you looking for the boss? The boss?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. You find Kayla Crawford.
Okay. And so she's just gonna, like, bones.
Uh-huh.
And then she's gonna start walking towards the tent.
What about them?
Follow me! Bones!
Uh-huh. Starts walking, gestures for Cora to follow her. Comes over, sees Wynne kind of fireballing the bones. Sees she starts to gather, or like shoo the gathered crowd, like, no, nothing is wrong. Well, it's not. We'll talk about it. It's all fine. We're all gonna figure it out. Don't you have a job to do? Go back to it.
Out of any iridescent danger glades while you're at it.
Stop touching iridescent danger glades. It's in the manual.
Claire's also...
It is now.
Claire's also... Oh, sorry. Claire's also... she either found or has kind of fashioned, like, gloves and masks for people. Out of habit, she almost kind of starts to put some on herself. She'll ultimately decide that she needs the gloves, but she'll hand out masks and gloves to everyone else who is not synthetic. She's kind of like,
Kayla will do that thing that only movie people do, where they don't put the mask on, but they hold it up to their face. It's like, just put the... Why? Looks at Clangley, asks how Styx and Titan are.
They actually appear to be better than ever. Their batteries look as though they haven't decayed at all, the battery effects, right?
No. Yeah, they are holding strong.
They look as though they've got an entirely new battery. It's this iridescent danger glade, which we really need a better name for.
I think Snap's name.
The IDG.
IDG, actually, once you acromatize it, it's quite nice. But yes, the issue therein lies with the fact that it is vaporized. Poor Akani Redshirt, lovely woman as she was, she is no longer with us.
Yeah.
But it appears as though this glade not only refreshes Warforged power sources, it also has some way of turning organic matter into something resembling residual. Perhaps not the exact same, but in almost all ways acting very similarly.
Not quite. There's a bit more to it than that. Like, Issabel accepted a mask and put it on while holding a bone shard in her prosthetic hand.
Please elaborate, Issabel. I'm sorry, that's a surprising mouthful. Issabel.
Well, you saw a decent reaction of it. It can also amplify magic cast at it.
Claire perks up at this.
I'm rather concerned about finding useful things from this.
Okay. So, it charges Warforged batteries. It makes people pop.
That was the verb they used.
They also
Yeah.
used melted originally, but they have since settled on popped, yes.
Kind of. They both start bickering about it. Styx and Titan. Styx says, well, she like kind of melted then popped. Like it was like a big fire burst.
Claire is writing all of this down.
And Titan's like, I don't remember the melting. I just remember the pop.
Well, let's hope we don't have to find out again. Nobody else is going near the danger glade, especially not organics.
Okay. Recharges. It does something bad to organic people, but any organic matter in the area turns to residuum.
Something analogous to it. I'm not entirely sure if this is the same thing as residuum. Perhaps it's a pseudo-residuum.
Not any, but any hard material.
Well, it is mostly calcium. I imagine that's why the bones survived, just because it's something more sturdy, and calcium is, in a way, calcium is a mineral and whatnot.
Okay. Obviously, this is complicated. We're going to obviously tell any humanoid workers to stay out of that area. We'll set up some caution barricades. We'll distribute a memo about it.
We should set up a perimeter around it.
Yeah. Just, I mean, if we can transform non-living organic matter into batteries, that's good, right?
Well, a tree is organic matter. If you brought a log in there, it would probably turn into pseudo-residuum over time.
Didn't they say that they were marking trees to be cut down? Maybe we should. I'm not necessarily suggesting we all go back into the iridescent danger glade.
Trees down and brought them back.
Yes. If things that are placed in the iridescent danger glade are perhaps supercharged with some kind of residuum effect, then maybe studying the wildlife around it, she kind of looks at Wynne when she says that, would be useful.
Yes, I think that would be a good idea. We're going to have to expand our mission to include some important research. I don't think this will be quite a safe place for habitation until we've fully figured out what is going on here.
Kayla kind of rubs her head for a minute and says, okay. I have to send a letter. We'll have to talk to the wizards, the engineers, and maybe we can run some experiments on some of this stuff. But obviously, I'm not sending any people, humanoids, into that area.
I would doubly recommend that we avoid cutting down anything there until we know for sure what it does.
Yeah, I don't really want to send Warforged there either, in case it does have some sort of long-term effects on them. Sorry, boys. kind of sticks it tight and kind of like, yeah.
Looks fine to me.
Kayla looks at the four of you and is like, anything else to add?
Just make sure people stay away from that place unless they are synthetic individuals.
Also, we may want to quarantine off this medical tent, at least for the time being.
Yes. That's probably a better idea.
Yeah. Yeah, sticks tight and you can't leave for a bit.
Just until the morning.
Okay. Rest of you be careful with that stuff, obviously. Store it or do with it what you will, but be careful.
We're going to run a few more tests on it, if that's all right, and we will do our best not to harm the skeleton too much so that it can be returned to the family of poor Akani Redshirt, assuming that Akani have family.
As you say that, Claire has already, like, snapped one of the smaller ones in half. This whole time she's been fiddling, and then she kind of just, like, snapped, and she's, like, looking inside.
Yeah, she's like, take ear bones and non-recognizable bits. Just, yep. The red shirts are a large and prodigious family, and I'm sure we won't meet any more of them.
Nothing I'm doing can't be undone. We have mending.
That's a person. Okay.
Not wrong.
And I've had my body parts mended before. I'm alive, sort of.
Kayla's just kind of like...
So...
Anyway.
Wynne, what you got for me?
Huh? I was just thinking that if the bones are made of something that supercharges magic, if you cast mending on it, does that bring back, like, the skin and organs and stuff? Like, because you're mending it?
We're gonna find out.
You could certainly try.
And you will side-eye Claire. Be like...
That idea is an absolute can of worms that you have no idea is being opened right now.
Are you gonna try it, though?
Oh my god, I forgot that we have someone here who's gonna be able to animate dead.
Yeah. You ever thought about what supercharging necromancy does?
Oh, we're gonna have such fast little skeletons.
Like, for you, she doesn't have anything prepped right now, and she also doesn't have mending, so...
Slowly reaches over and casts mending on the bone.
Claire will eagerly hold it out for you.
Anyways, flank.
No, go ahead.
Sorry, continue.
No.
I didn't have any.
Okay. Sorry.
I do cast mending on that bone.
No,
What
I
happened?
know. Yeah, sorry. I got a verification code, and I don't know why.
Maybe because of the Twitch hack.
It was for my Comcast account, though, and that's not tied to anything. So...
Concerning.
Yeah. But, anyway, I'll figure it out. Okay. You cast mending. Ugh. Okay, so... any chips or anything that have been taken out of the bone, any of the scorch marks from the fire or whatever, immediately vanish from it. And yeah, you do start to see, like, muscle and skin kind of starts to regrow around it. But it doesn't, it's it's like cloned meat. It doesn't look right. It doesn't look real, even. It just looks like a facsimile of it.
Claire is staring at it wide-eyed, just absolutely enthralled.
Clangley's just like, what the fuck?
She
I'm
takes
glad you're happy.
that bone. She sets it aside. She takes like several of the samples she's taken. She takes the bone that Issabel cast identify on, and the bone that the fire had that Wynne put the fire in, and she all puts them in like a little special place. She's like, these are special case bones, and then she goes back to kind of like sorting out the rest of them.
I see at any point try to touch the skull.
She smacks your hand.
No, I'm asking Claire, like, is she at any point trying to cast mending on the skull?
She does not have mending.
Oh, sorry.
So, it is an idea that has absolutely crossed her mind, though.
Okay, well, if she hasn't stated it, then Clangley's not worried about it, but Daniel is.
That was gross. Issabel isn't doing it again.
Okay, yeah, just bit by bit. But if you're just picking up bones, like it's not connected to anything, obviously, so it's not making like a full arm or whatever. It's just kind of making a globby bit around arm bones.
Claire is thinking about how quickly she can learn mending.
On a level up, I think you can switch out spells.
Okay, good to know.
Clangley will cast mending on the torso of this facsimile, because he is curious to see if any of its important organs are opaque.
Hey.
No, they don't.
Okay. It's just kind of a gross mess.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not doing that again. I feel as though I have violated a law of nature by trying it in the first place.
At least I didn't know. You knew.
Yes. Yeah, no, I once I thought it would be...
Thought it would be
I don't
what?
think maybe we really needed to know that would happen. Like, I understand, repeatability is an important element of science, but there's some things that maybe we don't need to experiment with. Maybe that can just be a thing we know now, and we don't have to touch it on it anymore. I need to go disinfect this hand. He will unscrew his hand and like drop it in like a thing of chlorine or something.
Issabel already has her arm in that, and is just like, suppose quick removal is useful for some.
Have a spare hand, screw it on.
Okay.
So, what should our next plan be? Because four of us understand what's going on here. I think it behooves us to try and figure out as much as we can about the, what did we call it? The iridescent danger plate. The IDG.
Well, we seem to already have known most about it in that it creates sort of that residuum out of inorganic material. And it's just kind of naturally reproducing.
There is also the question of how it spreads. How does it get there in the first place?
Probably growing slowly over time.
What is its source?
Could it just be a large residuum deposit under the grounds, just spreading a magical energy?
It is.
Have
That makes our job much easier.
Have we learned anything about the radioactive effects of residuum? I mean, does it give off magical energy that way?
It does,
For a
but
long enough time.
doesn't spread it like this. Perhaps once we take it away from the source, it becomes inert, so to speak, in that it still amplifies and stores magic, but can't spread any further. So there must be something unique about the area where it came from. I think in order to find out more, I think we need to go to the effervescent danger glade.
Enjoy. Have fun.
Yes, I suppose you two cannot come with us if we are to do that.
Oh, we can go sit on the edge.
We'd be happy to have you along, but I think this is something we should investigate as soon as possible. Perhaps it's me being overeager, but this is an amazing scientific discovery.
You're not wrong about that.
Just think of all the people we could help. It's infinite energy, practically.
Have you met my boss? I don't know if he's actually really yours.
I'm a contractor.
I don't want my boss turning people into batteries because it's profitable.
That is a big assumption to make.
Have you met the man?
No, I have not met the man.
If we're looking at this philosophically, in a way he already has, hence the existence of Warforged.
Look, I am an old machine, relatively speaking. When I saw that their batteries had been completely restored by being in that glade and no replacement was required, the reason I undertook this mission is because the shortage of residuum, it affects synthetics in a way that, well, quite frankly, we can't live without it, literally speaking. And my worry is that in the long term, if residuum supplies on the homeworld continue to dwindle, there may begin to be pressure against those who require it. And they may be deprived, as we are obviously in the fiscal minority, of the resources that we need.
The doom of residuum is the doom of us.
Yes, that.
I understand that. That's not necessarily my concern. If it's fantastic for you to just stand in this area and all of a sudden you have new batteries, that is truly a wonderful thing.
Like a wireless charger.
I mean,
Precisely.
it's turning people into bones is the problem.
Yes,
Precisely.
that is the issue.
It's the amplification and its possible uses. If he wants more of this material, he's going to try to get more of this material. And so far, we only know one way of how to make it.
Well, there's only one way to...
Oh, go ahead, Dan.
There's only one way to find out other ones.
I guess we can go there and start chucking things in there.
I admit that was my idea, yes. I very much kind of want to do that.
Not the worst idea, but rather check the lumber store, see if they actually brought any felled trees back.
Yes.
Glow.
Okay.
They glow. We will make sure that they are strictly quarantined somewhere.
So you move over to the lumber pile, and there's a decent amount of trees over there, but yet none of them have the iridescent glow.
Okay. Wood not hard enough. That is, or doesn't contain something reactive that makes it permanent. That's good and bad, I suppose.
So there's no wood there from the effervescent danger.
Correct.
From the glade.
From the glade. It looks like they didn't chop any trees down.
Okay.
All right, so we have to actually go to the glade to figure out.
Yeah, and Six and Titan can confirm they marked trees, but they hadn't actually gotten to the point of properly felling any of them yet. They were still staking out the area. And that they had been there for a couple hours. They weren't sure how long a Connie Redshirt had been there.
Let's go to this glade.
How about? Because it's late in the day, right?
Correct.
We wait until morning. If Styx and Titan are still fine in the morning, then we go to the glade. I also don't want to be too far from camp at night.
The hermit bear sticks its head out of the lake, narrows its eyes. Come out here, fish. Come on. Fine. Okay.
We'll get the cannon again. Fred's real eager to use it.
Finally, like, he does this with his wrist and it makes like a gun cocking sound.
The thing is, I can actually do that.
Oh, right, I forgot.
Okay. So, we will end the episode there, picking up next time going to the Iridescent Danger Glade in episode 6, Iridescent Danger Glade.
Oh, wow.
Outros and plugs. Dan.
Hi, I'm Dan. I never thought I'd say this, but probably should have gone to the Effervescent Danger Glade. Might have been able to save a Connie Redshirt.
Red shirt, it'll grow back.
They didn't have a name till this episode.
Didn't have a name until we put you on the spot about their name.
Yeah.
You know, see, we've come a long way. We've recognized the sort of inherent soul of synthetic, but we still call Redshirt it.
You have a last name, guy.
Anyways.
And look at you. You don't even have a name tag.
I am Dan. You can follow me at LightningFast11 on Twitter. This episode got very, very heavy, surprisingly. I am enjoying it. It's we're going to go to the Effervescent Danger Glade next episode. Sorry, I said effervescent. That's wrong. It's iridescent.
I mean, it could also be effervescent. Nobody's
Much
put it in their
more
mouth
lovely
yet.
glade.
Yeah, nobody's put it in their mouth yet.
The iridescent effervescent Danger Glade. We're getting to supercalifragilisticexpialidocious territory at that point.
It's a Jefferson Starship,
Hey,
Jefferson
Macarena.
Airplane situation.
That's
And
my plug.
sometimes why.
Play D&D with your friends. Wash your hands. Don't try to declare yourself the Empress of Idaho. That is apparently a thing that
What?
happened.
Oh yeah, we could talk about that after the stream.
Okay, because I got questions.
Yeah, no,
It's hysterical.
it's not as far-fetched as I made it. It's surprisingly similar to what I actually did say, is what happened. Anyway.
Liz.
Hi, I'm Liz. I will also plug playing D&D with your friends. It's super fun, super stress relieving. It's nice for me, so go do that.
Mira is next because that's
Hi.
where Relay is.
I'm Mira. You can follow me on Instagram at Birds and Nerds. I post art there very sporadically. I would also like to plug Liz's Instagram, where she posted the commission I did of Wynne.
Oh, it's my lock screen.
I'm super happy with it, and I haven't posted it on my Instagram yet because I just haven't had time. I would also like to plug at 8Tech Anim Lab, which is the big project that I have been working on for the past year. A whole bunch of new cool behind-the-scenes stuff is coming out for our short film that premieres in December. Check it out. It's all starting to come together, and I'm so excited. It looks amazing. Play D&D with your friends!
Woo!
And Jay.
Hi, I'm Jay. I'm here to plug changing your passwords and enabling two-factor authentication on all of your accounts. Do it now. Use an authenticator app.
Yeah, that.
Yeah,
Especially on
that.
Twitch.
Especially on Twitch.
Definitely on Twitch, but it probably saved my Xfinity account. Okay. Hey everybody, be safe, be kind, wear a mask, get a vaccine. Don't be racist. Be kind to each other. Play D&D. Do other things. Let's see. Next week is Star Chasers and Fuck Columbus, and I think that's it. So
Not in that order.
No,
Fuck Columbus
no.
is on Monday.
Fuck Columbus is on Monday. My bad.
He hasn't even bought me dinner.
Not that kind.
Yeah, well,
no.
To be fair,
deserve
if we're
that
talking
kind.
about the historical legacy of Columbus, he did need to buy you dinner.
That's for a different episode.
That's for Werewolf eventually, probably. Join us when that happens, maybe later this month. Have a good night, everybody.